You said before that Trump, Brexit, that's all just a symptom of the populism, of the inequalities that we're facing. I just wonder to what extent businesses can play a better role in closing that gap of inequality.
I think they can play a huge role. And that maybe allow me to clarify a comment I made that I think has been misquoted and misinterpreted. When I talked about chronic underinvestment in education in the UK, the point I was making was linking that to immigration, which is the #1 issue. I've run a large British company for many years. The reason why, as a British employer, you hire often immigrants is because you cannot find natives, nationals to do that job. Because, of course, from an economic perspective, you always prefer to hire somebody from that labor market in Liverpool or in Manchester who's going to speak the language, have the accent, be close to the clients, be close to the customers. So there is really a link there. Look at Switzerland. I think Switzerland is a wonderful example of what happens if you really invest heavily in educating the whole of your population, not just an elite. Okay? And these are official numbers. Independent schools in the UK are 9% of the population. What happens to the other 91%? Okay? Those are real issues. I think Switzerland gives a wonderful example to the world of leaving no child behind, to use an expression, with the apprenticeships and the fact that the system is designed to give a chance to everybody. I actually personally don't believe that human beings have a problem with inequality. They don't have a problem with unequal outcomes. They have a problem with unequal opportunity. My experience of people is that generally they accept the outcome of a legitimate and fair process. Okay? So if we really go to the root of the unease today in Western democracy, it's about opportunity. It's about people feeling that, well, unless you're in the 9%, I think the whole of Oxford and Cambridge comes from 200 schools. Okay? There's more than 4,000. So it's that. That's at the heart of all this. If there is a fair competition, nobody begrudges the winner of a Premiership League. It's very transparent.
Well, I would doubt that, actually.
No. What's your team?
I don't have it. What's your team?
I have a
Arsenal?
team that's not doing
Chelsea?
too well.
No?
It's Arsenal. I've got anyway. My comms team think that there's no conversation that doesn't end up with Arsenal with me, but it's one more data point. So if you go to the Premier League, it's very transparent. It's actually a very open market. If you look at the teams, people come from all over the world. You can be a kid in Abidjan in Africa and say, I want to play for Chelsea, and do it. And nobody begrudges that type of competition. People are dissatisfied with a game where they feel that there's not a level playing field and they don't have a chance. So I think what policymakers need to focus on is really creating that equality of opportunity. I genuinely believe that if we can do that and if we can demonstrate that, people will accept. They accept that we're not all endowed. I know that I can never outrun Usain Bolt. And that's life. Okay, I live with it.
Right.
I can't win the 100 meters. But people accept that we have different endowments. What they want to see is a fair process.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.